My name is Alyssa Owen. I'm a 50-year-old part-time housewife. However, thanks to my husband, Steve, who does most of the housework, I'm able to devote myself to the company I run. I met Steve through a friend when I was a career woman. I'm not great at housework, but Steve is a wizard at it. We're polar opposites, but we hit it off and started dating. After half a year, we became husband and wife. And since Steve is the youngest in his family, he got included in my family records. About a year after we got married, I gave birth to our eldest son, Ryan. Thanks to Steve taking on most of the childcare, I was able to return to work 2 months after giving birth. Some said I wasn't very maternal, but Steve always encouraged me by saying, "Don't worry about it." Steve loved doing housework, saying, "It's the right job for the right person." And he worked hard at housework and childcare. I respected Steve very much and also felt bad for him. Thanks to Steve taking on the housework and childcare, I was able to focus on my work, but I still felt lonely missing out on Ryan's growth. One day, when I consulted with Steve about leaving my job to start my own business, he encouraged me with the reassuring words, "It's okay, Alyssa. You'll surely succeed." Encouraged by his words, I decided to quit my job and start my own business. Starting a business was hard, but I worked desperately. As a result, I might have made Ryan feel lonely, but I didn't want him to experience hardship. Ryan grew up to be an honest and kind young man, though a bit indecisive. We were very surprised when Ryan suddenly brought home a woman named Michelle. "This is Michelle. I'm thinking of marrying her," Ryan introduced her with a blush. Michelle was a very beautiful woman wearing expensive-looking accessories. I prefer simplicity, so I honestly thought we were not a great fit, and it seemed she felt the same way. Michelle laughed through her nose and said, "Your mother is kind of plain, isn't she?" Ryan had decided to marry Michelle, so we didn't openly oppose it. However, Michelle's behavior gradually became more brazen. Despite us giving $10,000 as a wedding gift, she started demanding more, and she even said to Steve, "Do you do all the housework? Usually, women are supposed to do that." Steve retorted, "Alyssa likes her job, and I like doing housework, so there's no problem." But Michelle wasn't convinced. After their marriage, Ryan and Michelle said they wanted to live with us. When I said, "Since you're a woman, Michelle, are you going to do the housework?" she nonchalantly replied, "Oh, since my father-in-law likes doing it, I'd hate to get in the way. I'll leave it to him," leaving us dumbfounded. One day, Michelle suddenly said, "We've decided to live in this high-rise apartment by ourselves, so Steve and Alyssa, please move out." I quickly agreed, saying, "Yes, gladly," and Michelle seemed taken aback. Steve and I left the house with our belongings already packed. "I'm going with my parents," Ryan said, and Michelle, confused, tried to stop him, but Ryan shook her off and followed us. After leaving the house, I felt a sense of relief from all the pent-up frustration, but the revenge was not over yet. In fact, it was just beginning. I was looking forward to what comes next, smiling as I loaded the luggage into the car. A new life has started, but a sense of fulfillment and a new determination that I had never felt before were sprouting in my heart. I was now determined to continue taking on new challenges for my family and for myself. A few days after we moved into our new home, all the family members began to adapt to the new environment. Our new home is like the result of all our hard work and where we'll make our dreams come true. Here, we aim to deepen our family bonds and lead a better life. As life in the new home began, we gradually regained our daily rhythm. Steve continued to support me with housework and pursued his hobby of cooking. Every day, his delicious meals adorned our table, and family time returned. One day, we all went out for a picnic in the nearby park to enjoy the weekend. Under the warm sun, we spread out Steve's packed lunch and spent time with smiles. Ryan also looked relaxed, forgetting about work and having fun. This picnic became an important refreshment time for our family. On the other hand, I was able to focus on my company's work and successfully completed a major transaction. That night, Steve celebrated my success by preparing a special dinner. His cooking was even more delicious than usual, and I felt truly happy. Ryan also began to look forward gradually. He had been hurt by the issues with Michelle, but the support of our family encouraged him. One day, Ryan asked me, "Mom, how should I deal with Michelle from now on? Can you give me some advice?" I felt his growth while giving him as much advice as I could. "Ryan, it's important to keep calm and not forget your feelings for your family. We will support you, so don't bear it all by yourself," I told him. Ryan nodded seriously and replied, "Thank you, Mom. I'll try my best." Then he resumed life with Michelle, aiming to rebuild their relationship. Thus, our family made a new start together. Difficulties might await us in the future, but we were prepared to move forward, believing in and supporting each other. With the theme of our family in our hearts, we faced the new life with hope. As life in the new house got on track, our family was gradually regaining peaceful days. The time spent talking and smiling with all family members around. The breakfast Steve made every morning felt very precious. Our family bonds seemed to have strengthened after overcoming the trouble with Michelle. One day, Ryan decided to change jobs. Then he said, "I want to become a kind and strong CEO like you, Mom," and transferred to my company as a regular employee. I was surprised by his decision, but I was happy to feel his growth. I continued to work harder, watching him strive to follow in my footsteps. Ryan's job change has led to more challenges in his work and relationships. Each time, I discussed these with him and supported him in solving the problems on his own. Although the issues with Michelle were not yet fully resolved, we were determined to address them positively. Particularly, Ryan was prepared to face Michelle, making efforts to improve their relationship. Michelle's attitude began to change slowly, possibly influenced by Ryan's sincere approach. Meanwhile, my relationship with Steve deepened further. Recently, Steve became fascinated with French cuisine, preparing meals like those found in hotels for us every day. His culinary skills improved daily, and I was filled with gratitude for his efforts and love. The time spent with him was the most precious to me. I also poured more enthusiasm into my work. Recently, after securing a major deal, my company continued to grow, and our performance improved significantly. Thanks to Steve's support, I was able to focus on work, and sharing the results with my family brought me great joy. In our new life, our family supported each other and deepened our bonds while moving forward. Despite difficulties and challenges, I believed we could overcome them with our family's strength. We intended to continue working hard to build happy days together. Just as we were getting used to the new life, an event shook our peace. It was something that again caused a rift between Ryan and Michelle. That day, after finishing a meeting at the company, I returned home to find Ryan sitting in the living room with a gloomy expression. His eyes were tired, and it was clear he was facing a serious issue. "Ryan, what's wrong?" I asked him worriedly. Ryan sighed and replied, "Mom, Michelle has caused another problem." I was surprised by his words, but decided to listen calmly. "What exactly happened?" "Michelle went on another shopping spree. She bought expensive furniture and accessories, one after another, without considering our finances. And now, she wants me to pay for everything." I felt anger rising inside me as Ryan spoke. I couldn't tolerate Michelle's irresponsible actions burdening our family again. "Ryan, that's unacceptable. We need to have a serious talk with her." "But Mom, Michelle just starts crying, and I can't get through to her. I don't know what to do." "Then we'll join the discussion too. Steve is here, and we should face the problem as a whole family." The next day, we decided to hold a family meeting. We called Michelle to discuss her actions seriously. Initially, Michelle showed up to listen to us, but she soon began to show irritation. "Mom and Dad, what I buy is my business, right? Since Ryan is supposed to pay, please don't interfere." "Michelle, we want you to act responsibly as a member of the family. Please stop putting excessive burdens on Ryan." "But it's Ryan's job to earn money, right? I'm his wife, so it's only natural for him to buy what I want." We were at a loss for words at Michelle's response. Her attitude remained selfish and unchanged. If this continued, both Ryan and we would be in a painful situation. "Michelle, if similar issues continue, I'll seriously consider divorce," Ryan said sternly. Michelle looked shocked and began to cry, shouting, "I don't want a divorce. Don't say such horrible things like that." But we remained firm, not swayed by her tears. "Michelle, we only hope you change. It's important for us as a family to support and respect each other," Steve said calmly. Michelle was silent for a while, but eventually regained her composure and said, "I understand. I'll reflect on my behavior." Following this family meeting, we decided to return to our original high-rise apartment. And so, our family of 4 started a new chapter in life. We hoped Michelle would truly change, but deep down, we still felt uneasy. Yet, we believed this event would act as a catalyst for everyone and serve as a stepping stone to a new beginning. From the next day, we took specific measures to improve Ryan and Michelle's relationship, starting with financial management and sharing. It was clear that Michelle's unplanned spending was shaking the family's bonds. We gathered again to discuss concrete solutions. Steve suggested sharing a household budget book to ensure transparency in income and expenditures. "Michelle, let's start keeping and sharing a household budget book," Steve proposed. "This way, we can clearly understand each other's income and expenses and prevent wasteful spending. Michelle seemed surprised at first, but reluctantly agreed while saying, "Okay, but please respect my privacy." The next topic we addressed was sharing and cooperation in household chores. Although Steve had primarily been responsible for housework, Michelle was also expected to cooperate as a member of the family. Steve gently asked Michelle, "Could you start helping out a little with the household chores? We all want to work together to create a better home environment." Michelle looked displeased but reluctantly agreed, saying, "All right, I'll try to do a bit." This helped distribute the workload so that Steve wasn't burdened alone. The issue of communication between spouses also came up. For Ryan and Michelle to overcome their past problems, it was necessary for them to have more discussions and develop a deeper understanding of each other. "Ryan, Michelle, how about setting aside time once a week for just the two of you to talk?" I suggested. "By honestly sharing your feelings, you might find a way to solve the problems." Ryan immediately agreed. "That's a great idea. What do you think, Michelle?" After some thought, Michelle responded, "All right, let's try it." After deciding on these matters, we developed a detailed plan to move forward step by step. We decided on how to keep the household budget book, a schedule for sharing household chores, and a time for the couple's discussions. It was uncertain whether Michelle would truly change, but by showing a willingness to solve problems cooperatively as a family, we hoped to foster some positive changes. We were determined to strengthen our family bonds and improve our relationship with Michelle. Despite not knowing what difficulties lay ahead, we believed that by supporting and understanding each other, we could overcome them. After discussing these issues, we proceeded with our new challenges. All family members came together to take the first steps toward building a better future. We decided to do everything we could to support them, believing that Michelle would truly change and make efforts to integrate her as a family member. Later, Michelle began to change for real. She started helping with household chores and kept the budget book properly. Her communication with Ryan also improved, and their relationship gradually got better. Seeing Michelle's changes, our family began to accept her more. One day, Ryan came to me for advice. "Mom, I've arranged times to talk with Michelle, but it's not going well," he said, looking troubled. Listening to him, I once again realized the difficulties of communication between spouses. "Ryan, it's not easy, but it's important to keep trying. Michelle is slowly changing, and you should try to trust her again," I encouraged him. Ryan nodded. "You're right, Mom. Thank you," he said, his expression brightening with a bit of hope. We continued our efforts to adapt to our new life. Steve kept up his support for me while managing the household chores. Meanwhile, I focused on work and managed to lead a major project to success. I considered this success a result of our entire family's efforts. Steve's support and Ryan's growth gave me great strength. Since transferring to my company, Ryan has shown enthusiasm for his work. He worked hard and began to achieve results. I continued to monitor his progress and gave him advice. One day, Ryan came to me with a concern about his work. "Mom, I've been facing some challenges at work lately." I'm not sure what to do, he said, looking worried. I took his concerns seriously and decided to give him the best advice I could. Ryan, work doesn't always go smoothly. Facing challenges is a chance for growth. By solving each problem, you'll learn to trust in your abilities, I told him. He seemed reassured and said, "Thank you, Mom. I'll try a bit harder." One weekend, we decided to go camping as a family. Camping was an event everyone could enjoy and was perfect for refreshing ourselves. Spending time in nature refreshed our minds and bodies and recharged our energy. Upon arriving at the campsite, Steve began setting up the tent. He was skilled at outdoor activities and efficiently put together the tent. Ryan helped out, and the two of them chatted happily. Watching this, I felt our family bond strengthening. At night, around the campfire, we enjoyed a meal. Steve's barbecue was delicious, and everyone enjoyed their meal with smiles. Ryan and Michelle also relaxed and looked happy. After dinner, we gathered around the fire under the stars. Steve took out his guitar and began to play softly, and everyone listened. We sang together and laughed, creating a warm and memorable moment. Even after coming back from camping, the memories provided us with new energy. Everyone in the family started their days with a positive attitude, and our mutual support strengthened. One day, Ryan talked to me about a new project he wanted to undertake at work. Inspired by his enthusiasm, I encouraged him. "That's a fantastic idea. We'll support you, so go ahead and give it your all." Ryan subsequently took on a new project, and his passion for work intensified. Seeing his dedication, both Steve and I felt proud. Each family member striving towards their goals and supporting each other strengthened and warmed our household. I too was able to concentrate on my work and achieved significant results. It was Steve's support that allowed me to focus and share these successes with my family. And the night Steve prepared a special dinner to celebrate our achievements further deepened our bond. Having a great time together really lifted our family's mood and gave us a new lease on life. We may face challenges in the future, but I believe we can overcome them together as a family. However, not everything was smooth sailing. The wounds in our hearts, caused by Michelle's past actions, needed time to heal fully. Ryan, in particular, faced many conflicts in the process of repairing his relationship with Michelle. As a family, we monitored Michelle's changes and Ryan's growth, preparing for the next steps. Despite anticipating future difficulties, we believed we could overcome them together. As Michelle gradually became accepted as a family member again, and Ryan's relationship with her slowly mended, we were beginning to regain our peaceful life. However, an unexpected tragedy then stood in our way. One day, after finishing a major presentation at work and returning home exhausted, I opened the door to find Ryan and Michelle sitting in the living room with grim expressions. It was clear a serious discussion was underway. "What's wrong, Ryan? What happened?" I asked. Ryan sighed deeply and said, "Mom, something serious has happened. We've discovered Michelle's past debts." I was shocked by his words, but what he said next stunned me even more. "These debts are starting to affect our lives now." Michelle, in tears, confessed, "I'm really sorry. I splurged in the past and now I still owe that money." They could come and take it from me now. Her words tightened my chest. How could this happen? I was at a loss for words. Ryan also seemed to be grappling with confusion and anger. Mom, some of our savings have already been used. I don't know what to do, Ryan continued. His words left me in shock, but I knew we needed to regain our composure. First, we all need to address this issue. Michelle, please make sure there are no more secrets. And then we need to make a concrete plan for what to do next, I said calmly. That night, we held another family meeting to discuss how to handle Michelle's debt. It would have been easy to blame her for her past mistakes, but we focused on finding a positive solution. Michelle, first, let's check all the details of the debt and then set up a repayment plan. We also need to review our household budget and cut unnecessary expenses, Steve suggested. Michelle nodded tearfully and disclosed all the details of her debts. Could you lend me some money? Michelle asked. While I could have helped financially, I knew it wouldn't solve the problem fundamentally. I can't lend you money, but I can offer you advice. You must overcome this on your own. Afterward, we contacted financial institutions to discuss and set up a repayment plan. Michelle also took on the management of the household budget more seriously than ever and made efforts not to waste money. This tragedy was a significant test for our family, but it also served to strengthen our bonds. We supported each other and combined our strengths to overcome this difficulty. Ryan, too, made extra efforts to support Michelle. However, this ordeal left deep scars in our hearts. It was undeniable that our trust was shaken by Michelle's past mistakes, especially Ryan, who felt it would take time to regain trust in her. Through this tragic event, our family bonded even stronger. We committed to overcoming Michelle's past mistakes by supporting each other and moving forward together. While the future may hold unknown difficulties, the revelation of Michelle's debts prompted us to start working hard towards repayment. Yet, another trial soon struck us, this time related to Ryan's work. One day, when Ryan came home from work, he wore an unusually stern expression. He sat down in the living room and sighed deeply. I quickly noticed something was off and decided to listen. "What's wrong, Ryan? What happened?" I asked. Ryan was silent for a while, but eventually began to speak in a grave tone. "Mom, there's been a problem at work. The project I was managing has stalled, and I'm being forced to take responsibility." I was surprised by Ryan's words. Despite all his hard work and dedication, it was hard to believe that such a thing could happen. However, the reality was harsh. "What exactly do you mean?" I asked calmly. "During the project, a budget overrun was discovered, and it's being blamed on a mistake that I made. Now, I'm receiving severe reprimands from my boss," Ryan explained painfully. "I knew he was involved in the project, but I had no idea that things had gone this way." Hearing this tightened my chest with worry. The fear that his efforts might be in vain crossed my mind, but supporting him was my top priority right now. "Ryan, it's okay. We'll find a solution together. Let's first calmly assess the situation and see what we can do," I encouraged him. That night, we held a family meeting to discuss Ryan's problem. Michelle, despite her own debt issues, vowed to support him with all her might. Steve also offered advice, working together to find a solution. The following day, Ryan had a direct discussion with his boss. He admitted his mistake and was prepared to take responsibility, but he also proposed improvements to the project. His sincere attitude and practical suggestions worked, and although under strict supervision, he was allowed to continue his work. However, Ryan's trials were far from over. Regaining trust at the company would require much more effort. He worked late every day, doing everything he could to make up for his error. As a family, we watched over his efforts and continued to provide all the support we could. Despite the difficulties, our family bond remained strong. We supported each other, uniting our strength to overcome challenges. Both Ryan and Michelle were reflecting on their mistakes and striving to do better for the family. However, one day, we received the most distressing news. Steve had suddenly fallen ill and was rushed to the hospital. His condition rapidly deteriorated, and the doctors told us to prepare for the worst. We were at a loss for words, engulfed in shock and sadness. Steve was the pillar of our family, the most important person to me. Holding Steve's hand in the hospital, I couldn't hold back my tears. "Steve, please come back," I pleaded repeatedly. Even as he grew weaker, he continued to worry about us until the end. "Alyssa, you'll be okay without me. With you here, the family will surely be all right," Steve said with a smile. His words filled me with deep love and gratitude. When Steve passed away, it felt as if our family had lost everything. However, we etched his words into our hearts and resolved to move forward. We promised to live on and honor his legacy, supporting each other as a family. We first held a respectful funeral for Steve. It reaffirmed how much he was loved by family and friends, and many gathered to remember him. At the funeral, we reflected on his life and expressed our gratitude for his greatness and kindness. After the funeral, we prepared to start anew. Based on the household management notebook and wisdom Steve had left us, we all agreed to cooperate to maintain our daily lives. Yet, problems remained unresolved. The pressure of Michelle's debt repayment and Ryan's still unstable position at work stood before us. One day, Michelle approached me with a proposition. "Mom, I want to start over. This time, I truly want to be independent and not be a bother to the family," she said earnestly. Impressed by her sincere attitude, I responded, "Michelle, I believe in your words. We'll support you, so let's work on this together." From that day, Michelle earnestly began her journey towards independence. She looked for part-time work and started making efforts to earn an income. Her attitude was completely different, genuinely serious. Seeing her change, we as a family spared no effort in supporting her. Meanwhile, Ryan was also doing everything to regain his standing at the company. He worked to repair his relationship with his boss and continued to improve the project. His efforts began to bear fruit, gradually regaining trust from his boss. One day, Ryan came home and reported to me, "Mom, the boss has assigned me as the leader of a new project. This might restore his trust in me," he said, visibly happy. I felt his growth and was genuinely delighted. I also resolved to put more effort into managing the company, continuing the legacy Steve had left me. Alyssa, you have a talent for management, so make the company grow. He had supported me throughout. Holding on to the teachings he left, I reignited my passion for work and succeeded in a significant project. One day, we all went to visit Steve's grave. At his grave, we shared our thoughts and expressed our gratitude. Steve, even without you, we're doing our best. Please keep watching over us. I murmured in my heart. We had overcome Steve's death and were each fulfilling our roles in this new life. Michelle found a job and was working towards repaying her debts. Ryan was succeeding in his new projects at work, gradually regaining trust. I was fully committed to managing the company, living up to Steve's belief that I could handle anything. One day, we faced a new opportunity, an expansion plan for our business. We held a family meeting to discuss this project. Michelle and Ryan pledged to cooperate to make Steve's dream come true. Michelle offered to use her skills to support our marketing efforts, and Ryan took on the role of project manager, overseeing the entire progression. Once the project officially began, we all worked together unitedly. We pushed forward into new markets and improved our products. Michelle used social media and online advertising to craft strategies that enhanced the appeal of our products. Her efforts made our products known to a wider audience. Ryan demonstrated leadership, maintaining the project schedule and collaborating with team members to achieve our goals. His cool judgment and decisiveness significantly contributed to the project's success. I also applied my past experience to develop strategies for business expansion, negotiating with new business partners, and planning for fundraising. I dedicated myself fully to these efforts. As the project progressed, we faced numerous challenges, including aggressive competition and unexpected setbacks. However, we never gave up. Supporting each other, we solved each problem as it came. Our family bond became our greatest strength, allowing us to overcome any difficulty. Eventually, the project was an outstanding success. Our products received high acclaim in the market and became beloved by many customers. We achieved more than we had hoped for. To celebrate our success, we held a small party with the family. We prepared Steve's favorite dishes and shared memories of him. Steve, thanks to the support you've given us all this time, we've made it this far. Please continue to watch over us. I whispered in my heart. The project's success brought us new hope and confidence to move forward. This success was a result of our combined efforts as a family and overcoming numerous challenges, which became a significant source of pride for us. A few days after the celebration party, I gathered the family to discuss our future plans. Following this, Michelle continued to excel in the field of marketing, constantly coming up with new ideas to promote our products. Her efforts and passion supported and accelerated the growth of our business. Michelle herself grew as an independent woman. Ryan, as the project manager, took on even more responsibilities. His leadership and decision-making significantly improved the company's overall performance. He completely regained trust at work, earning high regard from colleagues and superiors. Ryan's growth was a great encouragement to our family. I poured even more passion into managing the company. My hard work paid off, and the company kept on growing steadily. One day, we gathered again at Steve's grave to report our progress. Steve, we will continue to work together as a family to build a better future, I told him. As we all shed tears, we reaffirmed our love and gratitude to him. Later, we started walking towards new challenges. Each family member played their roles, supporting each other as we moved forward. Michelle's debt issues were being resolved smoothly. Ryan's position at his workplace stabilized, and our lives grew increasingly stable. We vowed to keep moving forward together as a family. No matter what difficulties might come, we believed that we could overcome them by supporting and loving each other. One evening, as we all sat around the dinner table enjoying Steve's favorite dishes, we discussed the future. Our laughter and smiles filled the room, providing a warm moment. Steve's presence continued to live in our hearts, and we could feel that every family member was growing. Let's keep working together as a family to build a future that Steve would be proud of, I said to the family. Everyone nodded, renewing their determination. On a sunny Sunday, we all went for a picnic at Steve's favorite park. Sharing memories of him, we spent a delightful time together, feeling his presence with us. This marks the end of our family's story, but it is also a new beginning for our future. With Steve's love and teachings in our hearts, we vowed to move forward strongly. Whatever challenges may come, we are confident that we can build happy days together as a family. Steve's love and teachings are treasures for our family. Holding them close, we will continue to move towards the future. We are committed to working together as a family to build a better future, honoring Steve's legacy. This is the final chapter of our family's story, but our lives continue. With Steve's love and guidance, we'll keep creating great, happy memories. Our family's bond will last forever, enabling us to overcome any challenge we face.